So I'm gonna talk about this UI. Okay, so this is the only picture. This is all I'm gonna show you, the UI. If anybody's gonna be pissed that I'm not showing more of the UI, I'm already showing probably too much. Microsoft's probably gonna try to find you, and there's gonna be maybe 8 people in the world who will ever see this. Microsoft will still be like, no, and come after me. So this is all I'm gonna have. But if you were expecting this to be a long video with the words Microsoft's new Xbox UI in the title and not see much of the UI, congratulations. You were met like the rest of us when they released it. 3 minutes of the programmers talking to us about what they did revolutionary. Well, here's everything revolutionary when it go through right here. That's it. So, firstly, it will be faster. A lot faster. According to a blog post on its website, Microsoft has ensured that the new UI will set a new bar for speed. Holy shit. Okay, look, when you have a new UI, what do you want it to be? Faster? Easier? Add more features? What's the UI from PS3 to PS2? It's faster. I'm going to actually say it's easier. It's simplified. It's not easier. It adds new features. Added Blu-ray disc. Added a lot more storage. Added internal storage. No more of the memory card bullshit. Xbox. What did the PS4 do? Was it faster? Yeah, it was faster. Much faster UI. Duh. It's like saying your newer phone will have a better battery. Fucking better. Oh my god. What did PlayStation and PlayStation added the fucking share features? It's great. It's absolutely great. It's made me had a lot of fun playing games on a PS4 versus a PS3 just because I could take a screenshot of something that's cool. A video or just playthroughs if I wanted to just have hey, I want to record my playthrough. First time with it. Whatever you want to do. It added something. Now, I've not owned an Xbox One. I've played on Xbox Ones. I have a Game Pass on here. You guys can see there we go. See the whole Xbox thing. I have it here. So firstly, it will be faster, a lot faster. It will, by harnessing the Xbox Velocity architecture, quick resume technology, able to make games quicker to launch and discover. What does discover mean? Like you're gonna have your UI run better than it did on the Xbox One and PS4 for the stores? Like those had hard drives. When I put my SSD in, using the fucking UI for my PS4 is a different experience. It only slows down when, for some reason, doing videos. Going to TV video, sometimes loading all those widgets, all those icons up there, all the new advertisements it has for Disney Plus and Amazon and Netflix and everything. That sometimes still gets stuck up. Everything else is great. So what do you mean it's going to make games quicker to launch and discover? Okay, this is all fluff. This is fluff. This is the meat and potatoes. To be more precise, home screen will load 50% more faster when you boot up the console. Be almost 30% faster to load when you're returning from a game. For anyone who values every second of playing a game and gets impatient waiting for games to start, that's going to be a really big deal. As far as we know, PlayStation is doing the same thing. Their UI is going to be faster. It's faster every time. So, even though only the first paragraph here is fluff, this is nonsense. It's going to be faster. Okay, but what does it offer? Because it's got to be faster and easier, or at least more simple to use. It has to have one of those two things, whether it's easier and simple to use, but it has to be faster. If your UI for your next generation console is not faster, nobody's gonna fucking give a shit. It's gonna be faster, you know. And secondly, okay, and I want to preface that they did come out and say that instead of completely changing the look of the UI, they did it to add more under the hood stuff. They said, and that there's some stuff that they can't show us yet still. Okay. it's a UI presentation. They should at least come out with the share features of you can take pictures, you can record, you can stream. They should have had that. They should have had that. Secondly, according to Microsoft, the UI of the new console isn't exactly the same. This is really funny because this picture looks the fucking same. It does. You know, it's like that, you know, if Sony actually came out with a UI that looked like that fake one that people have come out, they just basically like reskinned the PS4 one with PS5 lettering, changed some colors around, some fonts. It was like a fake one that people made. That is equivalent to this. It's not an increase at all. So if it's faster, it's got to be a lot faster. If it's simple or easier in one way, great. But if it doesn't add anything new, like if it really doesn't add like anything new to the UI, then why is the hardware so powerful? Why is the hardware so powerful that it can't do anything with the hardware? Like this is my problem with the fucking Series X. It's a powerful hardware that you can't do anything with. You, you get to play games. Okay. Not exclusive games anymore, thanks to Microsoft. The uh, In terms of the visual aesthetic, it says text is more readable, elements on the screen are easier to understand at a glance, including tile-shaped fonts, and there's been an updated illustration style. So you're telling me that they're giving me minor adjustments that I don't even get to control that are equivalent to what 1998 Microsoft Word settings? Can I have Times New Roman? You know, it's like we changed the way the text looks. This is like Apple being like, our screen is 100% the book. It's like, dude, put it side by side with something. Is it 3 times the price? No, it's not. It's not 3 times the quality. You know, it's smoke and mirrors. The company calls it familiar, just faster and more focused. I mean, kind of like what PS4 was to PS3's UI. Faster, more focused, familiar. I mean, not really, because they at least did some version of an overhaul, even if it was just like the Friends portion, which still isn't great, but looks a lot better than it did on PS3. It functions a lot better than it did on PS3. Personally, the few the few friends I've had on PlayStation Network. um, yeah, it's dumb, and we just take a look at it. It's like, you know, like this is literally what they showed. They showed maybe like 4, 5 other screenshots, static images of a 3.5 minute trailer. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's just it's not like they're not completely incompetent. They just make such weird decisions. It's so fucking weird. So fucking weird. We're gonna come out with the Xbox Game Pass, but we're not gonna sell the cheapest system. Even though it undercuts exactly what our system's meant for, exclusivity, we're not gonna price it. Okay, I was gonna say we're not gonna price it aggressively, but we don't know the final price. But if we're being real, if Microsoft, the way this UI is looking, this is a very underwhelming system. It's like, what does this system do? What here? What about all of this screams, I need it? Like, if you're an Xbox One person who has physical discs, who is looking at 2 options, the Series S isn't your option if you don't like digital. So immediately, Xbox is forcing you into one if you want a disc. If you want to keep your old games in your disc, they're forcing you into one. Does this look different than the PS? I mean, the PS. This looks much different than the PS4s. Does this look different than the Xbox Ones? You know, and they're supposed to add a share button. That's the thing that they want to like get out. You know, if PlayStation is gonna have they're gonna have an operating system that's gonna allow you to essentially do be a content creator on your PlayStation, yeah, you can't back up your stuff, which is a same problem that Microsoft is going to have. At the very least, you would think that in their basic UI announcement, they would want to show share features that rival the PS4's. You would think they would want to put more than just static images. Like it's like a gameplay reveal trailer where it's like 50 minutes of bullshit and 2 to 3 minutes of games. This is the same thing. And there's like there's nothing here. Like this is I'm just gonna pull up my fuck it if I get flagged or whatever. I'm gonna pull up the one on my PC. This is basic as fuck. And say it again. This is basic as fuck. You have the mobile, you have your perks, get your Game Pass, which just brings you to the information about it. And then all games when you have the Game Pass, everything you can download. Here on the side, from the instant you come into to home, you have everything you've downloaded right here. It's simple. That box shape is the same. There's no background here, but this isn't an Xbox. Like I have themes and backgrounds on my PlayStation. It's equivalent to what this Master Chief in the back here is. But this portion right here, this is all of this. Nothing is new. Which, if it works, it's fine. If it works, that's good. It doesn't need to be new. It just needs to work better. But then where's the extra features? If you're not doing any change, essentially, and I don't want to fucking hear about font sizes and what's this other shit they put, including the tile shape, font size, and updated illustration style. You know what I think? They should just leave that up to the gamers. They should just make bunch of different fucking styles. Be like, here you go, use it. Bungie creates themes, right? Every game I have creates themes, so you can have backgrounds and stuff. Have companies come out with the lettering system. 343. Hey, you want your stuff to, you want your tiles, do you want your font size and everything to look like Halo font? Do you want it to look like Gears of War font? Do you want, let the fucking player decide. Let the person who paid for the hardware decide what the hardware looks like. If you're not going to, and you're going to make minuscule adjustments, then where's the features? And if there are no other features, if the UI upgrade is minuscule, if it's not any easier or simpler to understand, it's exactly the same. This actually looks more crowded. It's not, it looks like, it doesn't look any different than the PlayStation Store. Except the PlayStation Store is blue. And this UI here in the main, like this doesn't look much different than the PlayStation Store. This bar here, everything that's up here, layout of it. The mobile versions look, the PS Now or PS Plus, whatever the mobile app is for PlayStation, looks different than its regular UI slightly. This looks identical. So that's the only difference really that I see, that using a PS4 in its UI versus using this and using the mobile variant together. The difference between a mobile PS4 UI on the companion app or not. There we go, companion app. And apparently the Xbox Series X or S on this with the mobile and the UI, the only difference is like the phone version looks the same, like identical versus similar. But if I'm comparing this to like a PS4's like layout, like this doesn't look any different than my PS4. Instead of everything being in one long line, it's all bunched together. Instead of my friend's thing being up top here, where it shows that. So at the bottom, it's got a theme. This one's Halo. Mine is God of War or Sekiro or Kingdom Hearts or whatever the fuck else I want to put on. You know, so from generation to generation, if there is no increase in UI, or their increases are essentially them limiting you to different fonts and styles that are all available on 20 plus year old Microsoft Word documents, there's got to be features. PlayStation has the haptic feedback, the controller. They revamped the fucking controller. It sounds like the stuff they're doing with the SSDs there, from what I see on Ratchet and Clank, is fucking huge. I haven't seen anything from them. And it's like, if there's no change to the UI, if the UI is going to look the same, function the same, you still have to pay for gold. Xbox Game Pass is the same thing. You usually get to play the Series X games. If that's the reality of it, then why buy a Series X? Keep your One X. Your One X is fine. Don't get a One S. Or, I mean, don't get a Series S. It's digital. It's digital and it's cheaper hardware that supposedly, until they come out and say this, doesn't play Xbox Series X exclusive games. So I don't know what the fuck Microsoft's doing. They look like they want to fail at this point. Like they look like they want to actually have in their mind a close competition. It's not, but they look like it looks like they think they're so far ahead that they don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. In reality, I think they spent so much time on the fucking hardware, so much time keeping things a secret, like with stuff like Halo and maybe its development problems, lack of exclusives, or the very least, lack of footage for exclusives. Because there's probably exclusives in the works, plenty of them, that they just don't have any gameplay for, and everything's going to be concept or a trailer. I highly doubt there's anything pre-alpha. Otherwise, they would show it. They would show it. It would have been at the last conference. Man, I'm sorry, Xbox. You guys are getting the shit into the stick because Microsoft sucks.